You could fit whole families in here.
I knew I heard a little weasel sniffing about. You'd best go back the way you came. There's nothing for you here. Call me the Ghost of Gorgon, or its warden. This place is a graveyard. All that was done here should be forgotten and left to rot. I did, and I am prepared to do worse if you ignore my warning. Gorgon is the birthplace of marauders. We created them here, in this very facility. They are our misbegotten children, born of hubris and vanity.
Marauders were created? Those bastards!
That don't make any sense. How could marauders get to Edgewater from all the way out here?
They hold no fondness for trespassers. I've placed the facility under emergency lockdown to keep them safe. Let the marauders die in peace, or I will make certain that you die with them.
My friends and neighbors became marauders, Captain. They hurt a lot of folks, and Edgewater still ain't the same. If this place caused that, I want to know.
On the list of reasons this colony's fucked, Marauders rank near the top, Captain.
We're in a proper mystery now.
I've got a bad feeling about this, Cap.
We're looking for a comms tower, right? Ought to be one of the tallest things around, if it's gonna get a signal past these canyons. I sure hope that spooky person on the screen ain't waiting for us. I'm about ready to jump out of my skin as it is.
Birthplace of Marauders. We ought to have left well enough alone. Now we're in it. Come hell or high water, we've got to see this through.
Dr. Ambrose, tell me about Adrenatime. What does it do?
Hasn't Clarence already dumped a pile of promotional materials on your head?
Where's the fun in that? My listeners want to hear it in your own words.
It's an injectable drug that improves a patient's speed, awareness, mental acuity, and endurance. In moderation, Adrenatime will uplift the laboring classes by strengthening their minds and work ethic.
That's quite the mission. What's driving this vision of uplift?
I am a solutions-oriented woman. I see a problem and I am moved to solve it. Poverty is one such problem. Through science, I believe we can improve the poor, and in so doing, improve Halcyon.
What's up? We've seen a lot of stupid in this colony, Captain. Trying to solve starvation by changing humans into creepy hybrids. But this, if it's true, if Marauders were made... That's a nice thought, Cap. You're a good person. But no. I knew folks who turned. I've seen it happen. It's a slow, insidious descent into madness. Ain't but a shell left behind. Well, someone has to be. Marauders are a problem. Finding out it's self-inflicted is... ugh. And at the end of all this, they ought to look that evil in the eye and account for it. Maybe. I suspect whatever happened wasn't enough. Someone's pet project died. Cry me a river. I said before that I was nervous about this mission, Captain. I ain't now. I'm driven. Let's go.
You ever notice how our crew's a lot like that crime family from The Masked Marketeer?
Then Nyoka is...
You remember Kneecaps? Big square-looking bruiser, prize fighter, drinks like a fish. That's Nyoka.
You know, I think she'd like that.
Sometimes I can hear Vickers saying prayers to himself. You want to ask?
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor. My apologies, Captain. As you learned in
Captain! Imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news. Someone? You mean someone still has access to the facility? Oh, after all this time. Who was it? Of course. They know you're on the case and they're scrambling to cover their tracks. Make sure you have eyes on the back of your head. If I know Spacer's Choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same. I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time. What? No! I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea Adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about Adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then... Adrenatime was touted as the working man's best friend. A drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of Adrenatime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble... That's the spirit. Until next time, my good captain.
The dissidents actually took over the refinery.
What? Come to do what? Why place? What can I?
Rizzo's knocking out.
My dear fellow.
I think we can both agree that.
I'm real sorry about your friends, Nyoka. Ain't no one deserves to go like that. Certainly not folks just trying to get by.
Thanks for saying that. You know, after seeing so many people get chomped, trip into sulfur pools, shot by marauders, I always figured we'd die young. But just because you expect it doesn't make it any easier. Oh shit. Next chance we get, I'm buying you a Spectrum bottle, so we can proper drown this melancholy.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to try Spectrum when we went out drinking. Is it any good?
It is without a doubt the worst, most foul liquid mankind has ever had the misfortune to invent. You'll love it.
Welcome to the Musgrave Family Collection. Still a work in progress. I'll tell you what I've told all the other guards. If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind this greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Oh, that's just so encouraging to hear. Now then, how can I help you? We find that our clients enjoy the appearance of participating in illegal activities. Secrecy contributes to a feeling of indecency. The Musgrave Family Collection was intended to be a gallery of fine art. And here we are, using this place to practice semi-legal canid shows. Scandalous, isn't it? That's privilege. That's a fair point. All right, I'll tell you. But just keep this between us.
Guaranteed secrecy is expensive, you know.
Oh, it's all right. I'll give you this little secret for free. The Musgraves own one of Earth's largest private collections of art and literature. They were going to have the entire collection shipped all the way to Halcyon. Unfortunately, that collection never arrived. We haven't heard anything from the delivery convoy, and there's some purely hypothetical concern that the collection might be, well... I was going to say indefinitely delayed by unforeseen and unknowable circumstances. Anyway, that's as much as I can tell you. Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his canid La Place into our competition. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room.
You don't have to be scared of these canids, Captain. I don't think they're gonna hurt you.
Come now, Anubis, you must perk up. Are you one of the... I don't suppose you've any formal training in canid husbandry. It's my little Anubis, you see. He's listless and... You must understand, Anubis is a very picky eater. He dines exclusively on Terra 2 Saltuna, none of that rubbish from Monarch. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a shortage lately. Yes, perhaps you're right. I have an automechanical servant to praise me when I feel out of sorts. My canid deserves the same treatment.
Careful. They're cute till they go for the throat.
How long did you say Musgrave was gone?
I didn't. Frankly, I don't know. A couple of years.
Not now, please. I'm a little too busy, you know, being the master of ceremonies.
Hey, Maverick Johnston's newest star. I've got a question for you. Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows? So am I. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attribute... What gave me away? Wait, don't tell me. You've read my monograph, Putting the Us in Calculus, or, I'm afraid I don't really do auto... Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing. Oh. Then you're not here about my monograph. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice, Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party. I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know two people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. Yes, the birthplace of the Marauders. And a graveyard for all our mistakes. Starting Project Gorgon was our first mistake. Trying to bury Project Gorgon while it's still very much alive and clawing its way back to the surface, that may be our last mistake. Please, there's no need to insult me by implying I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way we don't... A grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. Oh, you're much too kind. Does this mean you'll do it? Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Till... What's up? At the moment, nothing. I have a one-track mind. I can't stop thinking about that trophy. You get me that... My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know. Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. An eye makes excellent proof of identity. I'd rather not get into the details. What's on your mind? Well, that's rather responsible of you.
Oh, perfect. Another company. Shouldn't you be on... Why, thank you. It's custom-made for our Canid Review, which ended a few days ago. The Judiciary Committee is still deliberating over the winner. In 8 to 10 short weeks, we'll have the name of a winner. That gives us 8 to 10 weeks to file a maintenance request. Our technician barred the vault door and then disappeared without a... The Musgrave Vault contracted a security consultant from UDL. They sent a technician to... That technician barred the vault, but neglected to leave us with a way in from here. He wasn't seen leaving the security room, so I can't imagine... UDL personnel are... The tunnels are guarded by automechanical security. Again, in any case, I'd rather not step foot in the tunnels. Your eagerness to serve your betters is commendable. Here's a key. Now, was there anything else? I'd like to get back to mastering over the ceremonies, or people might question why.
I'll be sure to raise a glass of Rizzo's Spectrum Violet.
And we're stalking.
Unexpected.
Great work.
Sure.
Here
they come!
reminder, please pay your gravesite fee.
That's the last of them! Great work. I sure hope these folks don't mind us borrowing this.
Oh, just hear me out.
You know, the careers of 9 out of 13 actors end after their debut serial. Enjoy. Dead canids in the service tunnels. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. My trophy! Look at... If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Bazan. Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers. Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a space. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most Nonsense. I just needed a good old... Let me stop you there. I don't accept anything for free. Think what you will of my intentions, my calculations. As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and... If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid... Dr. Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker. Well, with Spacer's choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Auntie Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus. Our office gave Dr. Lowe and his team every opportunity to develop it. Dr. Lowe failed to meet our requests and largely succeeded in using our supply of drugs to get himself higher than the mortality rate of a line worker at a salt. Let's try to keep it down. There's not a lot about Project Gorgon I can tell you. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I closed... Look, don't tell anyone I said this. But if there's anything I've learned by living in Byzantium, it's this. If you go looking for the truth, you are looking for trouble. All right. Ask your questions. Minnie Ambrose. Oh, Olivia's brat. Ambitious, but like the rest of her family, irrelevant. She tried following her mother's example, failed, and if she... The name Ambrose doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or to anyone halfway respectable. The Ambrose... A family's name is only as strong as its enterprise. The Musgraves have Rizzos, and the Schuyler's have Auntie Cleo, and so we show those names the respect they deserve. The Ambrose name was associated with Project Gorgon. The project died, and so the Ambrose... Project Gorgon was designed to change the life of every worker on Halcyon. We weren't just building a product, we were trying to build a society. How many workers call Halcyon their home? What do they eat and when? How long do they sleep? How hard do they work? What are their most productive years? When do their organs begin to fail? That's the nature of my work. I study human life in order to determine its value. It's complicated. I was courting the daughter of a Spacer's Choice family. We were a mathematically congruent match, you see. I had the proofs all written out and everything. Everything. Every project has a margin of failure. We expect setbacks, complications, delays. Project Gorgon experienced a cascade failure. One mistake precipitated another, and another, and another. The labs failed to develop a safe drug. Human Inquiry failed to perform their tests responsibly. An unsafe drug tested on unhealthy subjects by irresponsible supervisors. That's Project Gorgon. Anarchy is not a crime. It is a symptom. The undisciplined workplace secretes anarchy the way our glands secrete enzymes. Sabotage came first. The chem lab, Human Inquiry, even my own office. Sabotage broke the discipline of our workplace, leading to confusion, leading to escaped subject. I know. Project, I should have pushed for stricter supervision. We gave the other departments too much freedom and not enough oversight. No one appreciates the value of good data. The holistic surveillance device I wear is an invaluable tool. My former colleagues can go into hiding and live in ignorance for all I care.
I've got a lot on my mind right now. Our trophy's gone missing, but I can't file an investigation. Oh, don't look so cross. Those canids were put down mercifully. Not every canid is suited to the intense competition of our review. Some few can... Are you getting emotional over some canids? Anyway, listen. Nature is red in tooth and claw, and so are we. Competition is practically a law of the universe. Go and attend to your business.
way.
Don't hurt me!
Risk assessment.